Our bicycle journey begins on the train from Cologne via Dusseldorf to Mönchengladbach. We got off and pedalled across the Dutch-German border to Venlo. Is that as near line abreast as we're going to ever get without crashing? Good-o. This is the returning home journey after our trip from Strasbourg to Cologne along the Rhine. See previous video. We really recommend both Dutch and German trains are so efficient, but you don't want to mess up the buttons on the sink, otherwise you might end up sat on the loo staring at a cabin full of people. Not that we did, of course, obviously. On the train we passed within a couple of 100 yards of our hotel that night, the Bastion in Dordrecht. This is the one way I'm not going to pick up too much speed. Watch the bend at the bottom, guys! This must be one of the oldest underpasses in the whole of the Netherlands. It had really sharp bends at the bottom. Dangerous, in fact. Went under the railway lines, and I guess they would never build something like that these days. Hello, boy. Dordrecht itself is a really lovely place. Great place to spend a day. The main feature of Dordrecht is the Grote Kerk, a big church. And it seemed to us that the Dutch have a lot better sense of humour, in their wood carvings particularly, than the Germans did. I enjoyed looking at the clock at the top of the tower, and out on the medieval viewing platform it just seemed too good an opportunity to let pass, so we took a time lapse of the world going by. Just to prove that we were up here.
Yeah, definitely here.
Is this photoshopped on? As Yvonne's photoshopped on some commercial footage. It does feel remarkably like it's leaning to me. Of course the only downside is coming down again. Ooh. Ooh. You mean? Beautiful. Perfectly ordered life. Yes, the Dutch definitely have a good sense of humour. We barely spent any time whatever on roads, not even main roads, just roads. Very little. Most of the journey was on pure cycle tracks. This motorway bridge is featured in a number of my videos. It just tickles me to think how much the Dutch spend on cycling provision. It's fabulous. Well, here we are again, all of us. Woohoo! Ah. The Kill Tunnel has also featured a couple of times before. And this is the windmill at Segravendeel. We came across a bloke who we'd like to think of as Windy Miller, erecting the covers on the sails of his windmill and getting it going. We sat and watched him for 10 or 15 minutes and it was really lovely. Windy Miller, we nicknamed him, only because of the doors on his windmill. This is the memorial to Jack Dawson Green, an Australian pilot shot down in the Second World War. A young Dutch lad saw it happen and saw the crash, and he never forgot. So, as an old man, he made sure that he built a memorial to Jack Dawson Green. He even invited his daughter over from Australia for the opening day. How sweet. We went under the River Maas in a specially built cycle tunnel, especially for us. How sweet. And the tarmac was so beautifully smooth. The Dutch don't really do hills or even slopes, so there was a lift, or you could have taken the escalator, but if you're on your bike, which you probably would be, you could go in the lift. Actually, I think I may have seen Ray pedalling across this bridge before. Hello, girls! This is the Maas dike, which is a spit of land between the Briels waterway on the left-hand side and the Maas, the River Maas, the Oud Maas, on your right-hand side. That is, of course, if you're going west. Then over the Harmsumbrug to the north side of the Maas. Down and round, going northwards up to the P&O ferry terminal. The only real hill of the whole holiday so far was up the loading ramp into the ferry.
Very good.
But we managed to stay upright. Into the ferry, then onto the poop deck for a gin and tonic. Or was it a pint of pedigree?
The ship going to Hull from Rotterdam, Europort, and across there is the ship going from Hook of Holland across to Harwich.
I think James and Deirdre were quite impressed with the food aboard the P&O ferry. Welcome to the UK and our wonderful cycling provision.
Hello.
But be careful that no car driver opens his door on you as you go past.
Why? What a beautiful river!
We're nearly there, I promise. Well, you're not nearly there, obviously.
They only had about another 12,500 miles to go, but they wouldn't be pedalling it. We did manage to lose the girls coming up the last hill of the day,
Well done.
which was Summerby Hill. It was so nice to be home to the flatlands of Lincolnshire.
Congratters.
Oh.